Before swimming in Lake Windermere, it's best to check the water.
It looks really good, very clear.
I'm with Pete Kelly. He runs wild swimming trips across the Lake District.
There isn't a second level there, which means there's no poo in the water.
Is it cold?
Absolutely freezing.
Checks complete and well insulated, we head out into one of England's most beautiful natural wonders.
It's the most iconic lake in the country. It's the longest lake in England. You get that real big lake experience.
But Lake Windermere is, according to campaigners, in big trouble.
It's a bit cold, but it's beautifully clear out there in the water today. But it's not always like that. A combination of high nutrient levels and warm temperatures mean that, particularly in the summer, Lake Windermere has been turning green.
This was the same spot in the summer of 2022. It's called an algal bloom and can kill fish and even become toxic.
Right-hand side here, we're beginning to see a build-up of chlorophyll happening.
Chlorophyll is what makes the water green. Research funded by the UK Space Agency looked at satellite images alongside mobile phone data, which helps calculate how many people are visiting.
We've seen within this that one of the factors that leads to blooming is having more people within the catchment area. So there's other factors as well, but human movement and population is something that we can go out in this study that we've done.
So I'm taking you now to Langdale Final Treated Effluent Pipe.
So is sewage the link between visitor numbers and algal blooms? Campaigner Matt Staniak certainly thinks so.
The connection is more people here, more pressure on local infrastructure. And lo and behold, we say United Utilities and that starts happening. So this is treated. This is treated sewage.
We put on camera the water. This is what legal treated effluent looks like. 1.1 million litres can be discharged from this spot every day.
The big difference that we want to make as a campaign is not just the untreated that's causing the issue, it's also the treated sewage that comes from United Utilities. And the only way to protect Windermere, protect local businesses, protect the environment and the culture and economy of the area is to stop putting it into the lake.
United Utilities said in a statement, our wastewater treatment works are sized to treat the sewage for maximum population numbers at peak times and use the highest treatment standards, including phosphorus removal and UV treatment to kill bacteria. There are solutions that will make our seas, rivers and lakes like Windermere cleaner. But they're expensive, and the water companies are very clear that it's customers who must pay for them through higher bills. Jonah Fisher, BBC News, in the Lake District.
Hamza Yusuf has signed a letter to the King, formally tendering his resignation as Scotland's First Minister after John Swinney was elected as the SNP's new leader. Mr Swinney is now expected to become Scotland's First Minister. Let's go to Lorna Gordon, who's outside the Scottish Parliament now. Lorna.
Yeah, Ben, John Swinney is framing this as a new chapter in Scottish politics as the leader of a party that's been in government here in Scotland for 17 years. In terms of policies, he seems to be indicating a slight shift back towards the centre ground. He's also attempting a reset in terms of the debate, calling for less shouting, more listening, more discourse across the political divide. He has said that in his view, politics is in the worst state he has ever seen it and that he's here to do something about it. But also at the same time, he's actually conceded that he has played a part in this polarisation. Well, if convention follows the practice that was set last year, he'll have a chance in the chamber this afternoon for the first time since becoming leader of the SNP to try and set the tone. There'll be a vote if convention is followed for the next First Minister of Scotland, which Mr Swinney is expected to win.
Lorna, thank you very much. Lorna Gordon. The mother of one of the people killed in the Manchester Arena bombing has begun a 200-mile walk from the venue to Downing Street as part of her campaign for better public safety. 22 people lost their lives in the attack 7 years ago. Well, the mother of Martin Hett is calling for legislation called Martin's Law, which would require all venues to draw up plans for dealing with terror attacks. Here's our North of England correspondent Judith Moritz.
It was really weird to come here because I'm actually stood more or less where the terrorist stood, which is odd, but Martin stood 4 metres away from him.
Figen Murray has come to the exact spot where her son was murdered at Manchester Arena. It's not easy for her to be here, but she's making a point. Figen's campaigning for new legislation to place a duty on public venues to plan for the threat of terrorism. Called Martin's Law, it's named after her son, who was killed in the attack in 2017. Figen has been pushing for it for 5 years, on behalf of all of those who died. But the law is yet to be introduced to Parliament, so now she's walking to Downing Street to put on the pressure.
I've been very kind and patient and gentle with it all, I think, and courteous, so it's not aggressive what I'm doing, but it is kind of a very friendly protest march to ask the government to finally act.
And do you believe that Rishi Sunak will meet you? Have you had any assurances?
I'd be very disappointed if he didn't.
The public inquiry into what happened here at Manchester Arena recommended that the government should consider Martin's Law. That was back in 2021. The following year, Figen Murray says the Prime Minister reassured her personally that he was committed to introducing the law in this parliamentary session. But that hasn't happened yet. She believes there is still time. Those campaigning for Martin's Law say it would be proportionate with different security and training expectations according to the size of the venue. It has cross-party support.
It's hard to change the law in this country, and perhaps rightly so, because this would have a big impact on everybody, but that's why we need it. This law would make everybody safer in the UK. All of our venues would then have a clear set of standards. Are we there yet?
The government says it is nearly there, that it's in the final stages of drafting the legislation and will bring it in as soon as possible. Figen Murray is expected to arrive at number 10 in 2 weeks, timing her arrival to coincide with the 7th anniversary of the Arena attack. Judith Moritz, BBC News, Manchester.
Now it is Eurovision week, and this year's contest is being held in Malmo after Sweden won last year's competition in Liverpool. Well, flying the flag for the UK this year is Ollie Alexander, and the first semi-final will be held tonight after ahead of Saturday's grand final, and our correspondent Sarah Rainsford is in Malmo for us now. Sarah.
Yeah, Ben, the fans are starting to gather here in Malmo. We're expecting tens of thousands over the next few days. It's all kicking off today with the first semi-final. All the usual sequins and spangles, as you might expect. As you said, Ollie Alexander is on stage for the UK. He has a free pass to the final, but there are 15 other acts taking part today, including the apparent favourite in this competition, Baby Lasagna from Croatia, with a song with a lyric about meowing like a cat. But apart from the feathers and the fun here, there is quite a lot of disquiet, in fact, this year about Eurovision, because there have been calls to boycott Israel, for Israel to be banned from the competition this year because of what's happening in Gaza, because of the Israeli army bombing of Gaza, because of the humanitarian crisis there. There have been protests here in Malmo, calls for a boycott of Israel. There is graffiti around town. There is a very large Palestinian population community here in this city, and plenty of people from the Middle East too, who are upset that Israel has been allowed to compete when, of course, Russia was banned back in 2022 after the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. But away from all the politics and the protests, it is the Eurovision party as usual, and Malmo is gearing up for the first of several nights of extremely cheesy pop.
Enjoy it, Sarah. Thank you very much indeed. Now then, the stars were out last night for the Met Gala, one of the biggest events in the fashion calendar, and a night which raises funds for the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art. Well, the floral theme this year was inspired by J.G. Ballard's short story, The Garden of Time. The actress Zendaya made a spectacular arrival, as did Kim Kardashian. This was the rapper Bunny, Bad Bunny, I'm so sorry. And in a riot of colour, the singer Nicki Minaj wore this dress adorned with metal flowers. Right, impeccably dressed as ever. With the weather, it's now
Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you. Good afternoon to you. All the floral blooms under the sunny skies across England and Wales looking great as well at the moment. The rhododendron flowers looking fabulous then, full bloom across the UK. This is one of our Weather Watcher scenes in Greater Manchester. It looks like the weather really will be improving after a rather soggy bank holiday Monday for some. We will see high pressure building in. There will be always a bit more cloud across Scotland and Northern Ireland, a bit of rain at times, but even here it's going to feel warmer and dry. But England and Wales really will be benefiting from this area of high pressure, which is building in as we move through the day today, killing off all the weather fronts and also most of the showers. But there'll still be a few in the mix there. Certainly for Western England in towards Wales, could see the odd shower there. Nowhere near as widespread or as heavy as what we had yesterday, but a lot of sunshine for England and Wales. The cloud sunshine which we had across Northern Ireland tending to fade as cloud builds in here, and for large parts of Scotland I think it'll stay quite cloudy through the afternoon. But nonetheless, still quite warm, mid to high teens for many, cooler down the North Sea coast with that northerly breeze, but we could hit 20 degrees across the southeast. Those showers fade away through this evening. Overnight it's going to be mostly dry, a few clear spells, some low cloud and mist, some sea fog across North Sea and Irish Sea coast, and those temperatures 6 to 10 Celsius, and the winds also remaining light. So into tomorrow then, we've got our area of high pressure building in stronger across the UK, but we will see these weather fronts push into the northwest of Scotland, bringing outbreaks of rain there, more isobars too, so the breeze will be picking up, a southwesterly breeze for the Hebrides and the Western Highlands there, and then rain, splashes of rain when arriving later. For the rest of Scotland, Northern Ireland, England and Wales, bar the odd shower, should be mostly dry and we'll have plenty of sunshine, best of it towards southern and eastern areas. So the temperature's responding with that southerly breeze to 21 or 22 degrees, even the high teens across Scotland where we get some sunshine towards the east. For Thursday, I think even better day. It's going to be sunnier for large parts of England and Wales, southern Scotland, some sunny spells for Northern Ireland, always a bit more cloud, northern and western Scotland, 1 or 2 showers there, but elsewhere it should be dry, could be up to 23 degrees and the sun's strong at the moment, so that's going to feel really warm, even the high teens, close to 20 degrees across eastern Scotland. High pressure holds on for Friday and into the weekend, so a lot of dry weather to come for many, but you'll notice this area of low pressure arriving off the Atlantic by the end of the weekend, and that means it will be turning more unsettled into next week. So fine, sunny, warm through the weekend, chance of a few showers across western areas later on Sunday. That's it from me, Ben.
Not too bad at all. Stan, thank you very much indeed. All right, that is today's BBC News at 1. Now it's time to join our colleagues for a look at the news where you are. From me and the 1 o'clock team, do have a very good afternoon.